So I'm going to just, do you want me to just go through everything that you need to know about with digestive? We're doing digestive, right?
Yes, I brought the list over.
Okay, I think I can remember it, but if I miss anything.
Right.
So this is the diaphragm.
Right.
So I'm going to lift it up. This first thing from the diaphragm to the liver, that little white membrane right there,
Right.
it's the falciform ligament. That's the falciform ligament right there.
Okay.
This is liver.
Right.
All right, now she does lobes, and there
She-
are 6 lobes in the cat.
5, but
5.
we don't have to know.
You don't have to know them. Good,
Mm-mm.
good. I'm not making my class alone either, so good. Okay. This, oftentimes, if you kind of fold the liver up or look between the lobes, you can see that is the gallbladder right there. It's a muscular sac that contains bile. That's the gallbladder right there. Okay. We lift the liver up. This membrane underneath of it, all this stuff in here, that is lesser omentum. This is lesser omentum. There it is. There we go. I lifted it up. That's lesser omentum. Greater omentum.
I was just about to ask you where was your greater?
This is all greater omentum.
Right.
All that, it's lacy with fat.
Right.
That's all greater omentum. Great. It looks like greater omentum here, but it actually has a special name over here. Let me show you. So this is the stomach. Right here. This is the spleen. This big gray thing right here. It's only on the left side.
Okay, that's
So this stuff between the stomach and the spleen is gastrosplenic ligament. It looks like greater omentum.
yeah,
but
I was
it's
confused. And I thought it
between-
was.
because it's between the stomach or root gastric and then spleen, it's gastrosplenic ligament.
Okay.
All right. We go, let's see. So we have, one more time, I'm just going to briefly go through it. Falciform ligament between the diaphragm and the liver. And the liver, we've got our gallbladder. Yep. We've got lesser omentum. We've got the stomach, spleen, gastrosplenic ligament, greater omentum. Very good. Okay. We've got, let's see, where do I want to show you this? Flip this up. We've got pancreas. All this stuff in kind of that pink color looks like dried up oatmeal between these membranes. That's all pancreas. Right along in there, and it comes down over on this side too. All right. This first segment of the small intestine, that's attached to the stomach. So if our stomach is here, all this is stomach, and this first segment of the small intestine right there, that's duodenum or duodenum.
How do you know the difference?
Between the stomach and the
Yeah.
stomach is usually really large, and there's, I don't know if you can tell the constricted portion here. There's like a constriction here where the pyloric sphincter would be.
Right.
And so after that pyloric sphincter, well, I should say after the pylorus here where the stomach gets narrow, that's where the duodenum is. Sometimes they're a slightly different color.
Okay.
This one's not so much, but did she have you learn the parts of the stomach?
The fundus.
Fundus, pylorus.
I can remember the fundus.
If not, we'll do that on a model. We'll do that on a model. All right. So that's the duodenum here, the first segment of the small intestine. Okay. Pancreas. The membrane that holds the organs to this back wall, that's mesentery. That's mesentery right there. Okay, that holds the digestive organs to the back wall, mesentery. Okay. While we're talking about membranes, the one that lines the outside of this cavity, that's the parietal peritoneum.
Peritoneum.
Yep. If she put a pin on the organ and said name this membrane, that would be visceral peritoneum, right? And the space between them would be the peritoneal cavity. Okay. Good, 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 good. We've got, all this is small intestine. After the duodenum, which is pretty short, you've got jejunum and ileum. I can show you ileum really well. Put everything back. There we go. So it's like that. Okay. So this is all small intestine. This is large intestine. And you can tell because this is skinny, so it's got a small diameter. This is large intestine because it's large. It has a large diameter. It's fatter. So where the small intestine comes into the large intestine, all right, there's a sphincter right here called the ileocecal valve or the ileocecal sphincter. And that's because this is the ileum of the small intestine and this is the cecum of the large intestine.
So where they meet, the last part of the small intestine is the
Ileum.
ileum, and then the first part of
The
the
large intestine.
is the
Cecum. And so where they meet, since this is the ileum and this is the cecum, where they meet, there's an ileocecal valve in there that regulates the flow of stuff between them. Okay. Normally it would be like this. Okay. Now in the human, the appendix hangs off the cecum. It'd be right here. The cat doesn't have an appendix. Okay. As we go away from the cecum, all right, we go ascending colon. This is all part of the large intestine. Transverse colon. You go descending colon. Cats don't have a sigmoid colon, okay, like humans do. And as you go down, basically into the holding chamber here, that would be rectum. And then you've got the anus as the opening to the outside world. I think that's it for the cat.
Okay. Show me again. I know the ascending, transverse, and descending colon. Show me the large intestine again.
This is all this colon is all large intestine.
Okay, great.
All. So that means large intestine is made up of the cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, rectum. That's all large intestine.
Okay, great.
What's the duodenum?
So where this is, small intestine is duodenum, it's the first segment. Then after this it becomes jejunum.
Okay.
So this would be jejunum if she pinned it up high. And then right before it rolls into the large intestine, she pinned it down here, it would be ileum because that's
Okay.
right before it goes into the large intestine.
Okay.
So that's the order of things: duodenum, jejunum, ileum,
And then the ileocecal valve.
ileocecal valve.
Okay, I remember
Yep.
that. That's the, between the
That
ileum
would
and
be
the
right in
large
here.
intestine.
Yep, right in there. It's
And the
little area.
pyloric sphincter.
I didn't talk about the pyloric sphincter. That's part of the stomach. So that pyloric sphincter would be right here between where the stomach ends and the duodenum begins. That would be your pyloric sphincter in there.
And then there was another sphincter, cardiac
There
sphincter.
is. There's a cardiac sphincter. That would be up at the top of the stomach. It's where the esophagus comes in. And I don't know if y'all have done it before on
It's behind the trachea.
it's behind the trachea. It's actually right there, I think.
Okay.
It looks like somebody kind of moved it from there. But it would be behind the trachea. So the esophagus, where it comes down into the stomach, we usually pin it on a model.
Okay.
That would be the cardiac
Okay.
sphincter.
Okay.
So I usually do the ducts, the hepatic, and the
Oh yes.
I do those ducts on models.
Yeah,
I can
she
do
has
those real
those.
quick.
2, 3. I
Yeah.
have those numbered.
Okay, and then I do those on the model, and then I do the parts of the stomach on a model.
You do those on model. Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I mean, you could do them here, but I think I like the model better.
Okay.
Just shows it better. You want to do those real quick?
Sure.
All right.